Welcome, ZASLOW Show 2.0. It is a Wednesday, the 25th of October. Good to have you aboard. We are part of the Believe Podcast Network and everything ZASLOW Show 2.0, presented by Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys. 800-747-FREE, 800-747-3733. Any kind of accident you've been in, if you're dealing with a personal injury, first you call 911, then you call Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Slip and fall, hit and run, motorcycle, boating, car accident. Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys. You may be thinking, man, what does it cost to get an attorney here in Florida? Well, look, you owe Anidjar and Levine no upfront fees to get started with a case. You only pay them if they collect compensation on your behalf, and you agree on a percentage-based fee for their services. They want to put their knowledge to the test, their experience, use their resources to work for you. Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys, 800-747-FREE, 800-747-3733. And of course, we're heading into week 8 of the NFL season. The World Series begins on Friday night. We'll get to that coming up. And of course, that means that BetOnline is your number one information source for all your sports wagering info, with all the up-to-the-minute stats, news, scores, matchup breakdowns. Get the latest game odds, spreads, totals for all your NFL and college football action. It's at your fingertips with BetOnline's real-time updates on stats, news, and odds. You got the World Series getting going Friday. You want to get all the information so you could make the smart plays? Well, BetOnline gives you access to the best promotions and contests available anywhere online. Head to the BetOnline website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Remember to use the promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. So the NBA got going last night. We had a doubleheader to get the season started. We got a full slate of games tonight, including, of course, your Miami Heat, your favorite little basketball team. They are back in action tonight. That's what I'm talking about. Enough of this waiting around, waiting to see my favorite team. I'm ready to go for it tonight. I'm very excited. Can you tell? Because Saya Center this evening, I won't be in attendance. I'll be watching from the ZASLOW Mansion family room. I'll be sitting on the couch with a cold Johnny Cuba in my hand, and I will be ready to watch the Heat take that Piston ass tonight. That's what we're talking about. So the Heat finally getting going. It's here. The NBA started last night. We're really pumped up about that. I already told you, I'm going into the season with a super positive attitude. I don't understand the negativity. Well, I understand the negativity from a perspective of you wanted things to happen in the offseason, and you're getting tired of the Heat being mentioned in these big deals. You're getting tired of actually, like, Bradley Beal and Damian Lillard, both over the last couple days, straight up came out and said they wanted to go to Miami, and the Heat couldn't get the deal done. One of them was essentially by choice, Bradley Beal. The other one was because Joe Cronin is a cockroach. You couldn't do anything about it. It is what it is. But I would say, as unhappy as you were about that in the offseason, it's time to put that aside. We got NBA starting last night. We got the Heat starting tonight. Come on now. Let's go. I will say, though, the bullshit's already started. Last night, no Draymond Green, no Bradley Beal. They're being cautious with Bradley Beal. What's to be cautious about? He's had the entire offseason to get right. We're being cautious. And then you got the other bullshit, which no league, no sport thrives on this type of bullshit the way the NBA does. The headline on First Take just now, the headline reads, James Harden apparently is back in Philly. He's practicing. The team's going to leave for, I think, Milwaukee this afternoon. They're playing tomorrow night. They do not play tonight, like everyone else does, seemingly. But the headline is, should Joel Embiid force his way out of Philly? That's such trash. That's such a trash headline. I mean, I like that the Sixers are imploding. I like all that, but the season hasn't even started yet. Like, and I know we got to fill up TV time, and First Take's a great show, and you want to get as many eyeballs as you can, and that's a salacious headline, but it's like, man, they haven't even played a game yet, and the first headline is, should Joel Embiid force his way out of Philadelphia? That is such a trash headline. Anyway, we got expert picks that are out on ESPN.com. We're going to find out who's sus. For those who don't know, sus is what the kids say when something is suspect. We're going to find out who's sus. Who didn't pick against the Heat? I'm sure everybody picked against the Heat. We're going to find out who's sus. So we got that coming up. And, hey, it's Wednesday. So, as we're getting ready for the weekend's NFL games, we're going to tell you which NFL fan bases, after this past week's action, who's having good times, who's having hard times, daddy. So obviously, we'll do that as well. But let's start the show off today with your Florida Panthers. The Panthers last night. So the Panthers win last night. They beat the San Jose Sharks 3-1. Fun game. No scoring in the first. Panthers 2-1 in the second. They wind up getting an empty net goal in the third. We'll get to all that. But you're going into the game last night 2-3. And for the sixth time in 8 games so far to start this year, you're playing a Western Conference team. The Panthers actually have beaten both Eastern teams they've faced so far, both in New Jersey and at home against Toronto. But the losses before that coming at Winnipeg, at Minnesota, and at home to Vancouver. So a very Western-heavy schedule to start the season. Now, the Panthers don't play again until this weekend. What am I going to do holding myself over until Saturday night? Well, we got the Heat back in action tonight, and then the Heat are in Boston on Friday. So we're covered in that regard. But a game that you feel like the Panthers had to have because San Jose now I think is 0-4-1, so winless so far going into last night. But then you get the word, there seems to be a bit of a illness going around the dressing room, and Sasha Barkov is out. So, that's like a disaster. So Barkov's out, and Bobrovsky gets his first day off. So it's Stolars. Am I saying his name right? Stolares. He's the backup right now. He gets his first action of the season with the Panthers. Why is Spencer Knight not in goal? Spencer Knight is, and like I was explaining this to my son at the game the other day, Spencer Knight's with the AHL team right now because they want Spencer Knight playing every single night. And I would imagine we'll get to a place in the middle of the season where, okay, he's played a ton, so let's now bring him up to the big club. He'll back up Bobrovsky. He'll get some games here and there. But right now, in the early part of the season, they want Spencer Knight in between the pipes on a nightly basis. And that's not going to happen with the Panthers right now because that's Bobrovsky's net, and rightfully so. I'm on Team Bobrovsky now. He's going to have bad nights. We know that. But based on what he did last year in the postseason, that's my guy. I'm on Team Bobrovsky. So, and by the way, weird start time for the game last night, right? The game started at 7:45. Games usually start at 7. But the NHL last night had their Frozen Frenzy. They were doing like their version. ESPN, it was hosted by John Butcher-Gross and Kevin Weeks. They were doing their version of the Red Zone. So every game was staggered, beginning with a 6 p.m. start time. Every team was in action last night, with the final game being 11 p.m. out on the West Coast. Every game was staggered by 15 minutes. So the Panthers had the 7:45 slot because they want to be able to do whip-around coverage and take you to every game, specifically the finish to every single game. I would imagine it went pretty well because last night it was like the third most goals scored on a single night in NHL history. Now, that's obviously going to happen when every team is playing. You don't have too many nights like that where everyone is playing. But at least you know you got a bunch of goals. So I would imagine that idea, that Frozen Frenzy, I would imagine it went pretty well. But that's why you had the Panther game starting at 7:45. Weird start time. Anyway, scoreless after one period. The Panthers would go down 1-0. That was really annoying. But then the Panthers got the equalizer, Carter Verhaeghe's third goal of the season.
Forsling slides down the boards. Kachuk in behind. And they score! It's Carter Verhaeghe from Tkachuk, and the Panthers answer back. Tied at 1.
I'm going to tell you, folks, this is a set play, and it all centers around number 19, Matthew Tkachuk.
All right, so the Panthers tie it. Now we're back in it. We're feeling a little bit better here. Then the Panthers get a power play. They actually get a 5-on-3. What's going to be a 5-on-3 for like a minute 11. And right after the faceoff, a bullshit call. Carter Verhaeghe takes a hooking penalty. Total bullshit. So now instead of it being 5-on-3, it's 4-on-3. Sam Reinhart, though, he immediately cashes in.
Ekman-Larsson again. Tkachuk waits, cross ice. Ekman-Larsson in the slot. Black with the save, and they score! Reinhart is there, and the Panthers have the lead.
Oh, he's so sneaky, that sneaky Sam Reinhart. Even though he lost his balance, he was spun around right at the top of that crease area. After the shot came from Ekman-Larsson, there's Reinhart at the bottom of your screen. Down he goes, and on the ice, he's able to spin around, and look at how gets that stick on the puck and enough to get it over the goal line.
Puck don't lie, right? That's what they say. So bullshit penalty. Instead of a 5-on-3, it's a 4-on-3. But Sam Reinhart gets his 7th goal of the season. 7 goals in 6 games to start the season for the Panthers. Last year, he went like the first 8 games or so without scoring. Well, that's now Matthew Tkachuk this year. Tkachuk has not scored yet. I think he had an assist last night, so he probably got 5 points on the season so far. But through the first 6 games of the year, because the Panthers are now 3-3-0, no goals yet for Matthew Tkachuk. Only 1 goal for Barkov. He scored the other night in the 5-3 loss to Vancouver. Anyway, the Panthers, they've been familiar with this in all 3 of their wins so far this year, and the other team pulls the goalie. In at least 2 of them, the Panthers have actually been down 6-on-4 because they were on a penalty kill. So 6-on-4 again to close out this game, and it was Kevin Stenlund getting the empty net goal as the Panthers get excellent goaltending late. The defense once again does the job.
Ekman-Larsson trying to clear, and they do. Tkachuk, Stenlund, bingo! Kevin Stenlund puts it away, 3-1, Panthers.
So there you go, a game that they had to have because it's the San Jose Sharks. They stink, and you're on a 3-game homestand right now, or this is 3 straight games at home. You don't want to lose 2 of those 3. They lost the other night, so really good job by the Panthers. Had to have that game. Stolarz was excellent in goal for Sergei Bobrovsky, getting the night off. And next, so the Panthers win 3-1. And next up for your favorite little hockey team is this Saturday against a Seattle Kraken team that is off to a really slow start. They're 2-4-1 right now. So looking to get 3 out of 4 at home on this homestand. If they could win on Saturday night, that's a 6 p.m. start against Seattle. And then they go to Boston, a venue that they own. You remember last year, the Panthers, they won games 2, 5, and 7. 2 of those in overtime. The Panthers own the Boston Bruins, and they'll be there on Monday. On Monday night, they will be in Boston. So, good job by the Panthers last night. Excellent job by the team and the crowd who gave Anthony Duclair a really nice ovation, a welcome back as the Panthers trade him to San Jose. It sucks because the Panthers, are up against the salary cap. It's a hard cap in the NHL. You can't go over the cap for any reason. Well, I shouldn't say that. If you got players on IR, which the Panthers do right now, Ekblad and Montour, their salaries don't currently count against the cap. But once they get activated, the Panthers are going to have to make some moves to get back down under. But they had to trade Anthony Duclair to stay under the cap. And Duclair got a really nice ovation, a really nice video. It was weird, right? Because remember last year when Calgary was here and Jonathan Huberdeau and Mackenzie Weegar, you know what you did, Mackenzie Weegar. When Jonathan Huberdeau and Mackenzie Weegar made their returns, it was a dual package for both of them. It was really weird that Huberdeau didn't get his own. He's the leader in like every major statistical category for the Panthers, and he didn't even get his own video. I'm not really sure why that was. Maybe the team was afraid that Weegar was not going to get a good reaction because he knows what he did. so they put the two videos together. Huberdeau should have gotten his own video, but Anthony Duclair, good video package, good ovation from the crowd, and Duclair, he was here for 3 years. Duclair was a really good player for the Panthers. Really liked him here. He was not the kind of player that they needed in this system. He was a great regular season player for the Panthers. Missed all of last year's regular season. Otherwise, great regular season player. He was a 30-goal scorer a couple years ago. But he was not the kind of postseason player they need. He was not tough. He was a finesse type of player, fast skater. But he had a really good time here, his 3 years. And they did a really good job honoring him there. I'm going to tell you, though, I got another really good crowd, it looked like, at Amerant Bank Arena. But I got to tell you, the national anthem makes me nuts. It does. And I was there the other night, and my son is laughing as the anthem's going on because he knows it makes me nuts. You know, the crowd chants, and the Rockets' red glare. And the crowd chants, red! Dig it. That's fine. That could be the Panthers' thing. You want to all yell red together, that's their thing. But when the crowd all yells, night. The Rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night. And everyone yells night. I fucking hate that. I don't know any other way to say it. I hate it. Because Spencer Knight, he's not even on the team. He's with the AHL club. He's not even on the team. If the lyrics had the name Bobrovsky in it, you want to yell out Bobrovsky? Go ahead. Knight's not even technically on the team right now. And they've been doing this for a couple of years. I mean, hell, last year when Spencer Knight left the team because he had personal issues, and we're still yelling Knight, he's not even with the team. I hate, and by the way, I fully support Spencer Knight, and I got a lot of sympathy for him in that regard, and I'm glad he's feeling so much better. He left the team last year. You didn't know what it was about. You knew it was some personal health situation, and I got to give Spencer Knight a lot of credit because he went into real detail about what he was dealing with. He has obsessive-compulsive disorder, and it got really out of control for him in the middle of last season. And he had to step away and get help and settle it down. And that's not something that you overcome. It's something that you wind up being able to manage, the obsessive-compulsive disorder. And it got out of control for him, and it was taking over his life. So good for him, man. I'm glad that he's feeling a lot better right now and managing it much better. But the yelling night during the national anthem, I hate it. I like the yelling red. I hate the yelling night. I can't be the only one who feels that way. Anyway, by the way, hot tip, you know I'm the ticket ninja, and I've been telling you guys, there are really good value tickets for Panther games. Now, they're getting great crowds, especially because the lower level season tickets are sold out this year. But I took my family, front row. I never knew front row hockey games are so good. I never knew. And I want to sit front row in the upper deck every game now. I will sit front row upper deck than in the middle of the lower level every time now. And those tickets are great value. That's part of being Ticket Ninja, is finding the great value. And you could sit front row in the upper deck under $30. Amazing. So if you're looking to take your family like this Saturday night, you want an affordable outing, look, go to Heat games. You know I love Heat games. But shit, that's a really expensive ticket. And front row at the Heat games, it's not the same. You're up pretty high, man. But front row, upper deck Panther games, that's a good value. You will not get $28 front row, upper deck tickets at the Heat game. No, you will not. But you can do that at the Panther game. Not telling you not to go to the Heat game. I'm just trying to tell you where the value is. And there's value at those Panther games. You want to take your kids, you want to take your family, whatever you got going. I don't know what you got going on. Whatever you got going on, all right? So that's a hot tip right there from the Ticket Ninja. Now, putting that aside, you know what's a hot tip from me? A hot tip from your boy is keeping cool and getting the best sleep of your life. You know I'm about to tell you about Sheets and Giggles. One of our favorite sponsors, SheetsGiggles.com. You go to Sheets and Giggles, SheetsGiggles.com. You're going to get the best sleep of your life with Sheets and Giggles, irresistibly soft, Eucalyptus sheets. Their sheets are not only soft, but also breathable. You're going to sleep cool and comfortable all night long. My man Colin, the founder and CEO of Sheets and Giggles. By the way, you may have noticed I popped up on Threads yesterday. Yup, opened up a Threads account. Come see me on Threads. Come follow me, whatever they do over there. My man Colin from Sheets and Giggles, he sent me a message today. I was like, yo, ZASLOW, you got to get on Threads, man. And he tell me a little bit about it, like, all right, good looking out. Well, I'm on Threads now. And that's thanks to my man Colin from Sheets and Giggles. SheetsGiggles.com, where you're going to see the annual fall sale is back. That's 25% off throughout the website. But if you use promo code ZASLOW, ZASLOW, you're going to get 20% off your first order at checkout. SheetsGiggles.com, use promo code ZASLOW, 20% off your first order at checkout. You'll never have to think about where you're going to shop for your sheets. SheetsGiggles.com. Get the best sleep of your life. You're going to become one of over 100,000 Americans, just like the ZASLOWs who are sleeping on Sheets and Giggles. SheetsGiggles.com. Use promo code ZASLOW, 20% off your first order. All right. Also, you guys know I love trying to help you guys not just save money, but I want to make sure that you're also not laying awake at night wondering, God forbid, what happens to my home? Am I covered properly? Am I insured properly? I don't really know about my coverage. Well, that's because you're not using Brunt Insurance. BruntInsurance.com, 954-589-2204. Greg Brunt and his team, fully licensed staff. They know whatever area you're calling from. They have offices all throughout the state of Florida. And at Brunt Insurance, their agents specialize in finding the perfect policy for you. And they're going to educate you on all of your options, making sure you know the ins and outs of your policy of choice. That's why for almost 10 years now, I get my homeowner's insurance through Brunt Insurance, because I want to make sure that I'm covered. And I also want to know I'm getting the most affordable care out there. They have the expertise and experience to find the right coverage for you. And that includes comprehensive policies on both trailers and motorhomes. Hey, maybe you're looking for automobile insurance, motorcycle, boater's insurance. Brunt Insurance has you covered there as well. 954-589-2204, bruntinsurance.com. So let's get to NBA. All right. Last night, Lakers and Nuggets, Warriors and Suns. I didn't watch much of the second game. The Suns beat the Warriors. In the first game, I watched quite a bit. I had it on the small TV in the ZASLOW Mansion family room for a little bit opposite the hockey. Then, of course, I had to have the baseball on. Real quick, I should let you guys know, major choke job by the Phillies. The Phillies lose last night. They were up 2-0. They were up 3-2. Diamondbacks beat the Phillies 4-2 last night. They were down 2-0. They win 4 of the last 5, including games 6 and 7 in Philadelphia. I mean, what about all this talk about how amazing Philadelphia, how amazing that crowd is? Phillies can't lose there. Guess what? They lost the final 2 games there. A big-time choke job. Harper did nothing the last couple days. Schwarber did nothing the last couple days. Castellanos did nothing the last couple days. Peace out, Phillies. Fuck right off. Arizona, Texas, that's your World Series right there. Love to see it. Love all those Philly fans going home unhappy. That's what I'm talking about. Major choke job last night from the Phillies. Yep, that's right. So anyway, that's Major League Baseball. World Series gets going on Friday. But the NBA last night, I watched a bit. So the Lakers lose to the Nuggets. Nuggets win by double figures. They were up like 11-12 the whole game. Nikola Jokic, he wasn't even great. Still managed a triple-double. Gets a triple-double in his sleep. LeBron was good, but the story was he only played 29 minutes. LeBron last night, in 29 minutes, like, the Lakers played well when LeBron was on the floor. And, you know, the exact problem that the Lakers don't want to have or think that they're past is, all right, when LeBron sits, and he sat for 19 minutes last night, is Anthony Davis going to be able to carry the load? Well, Anthony Davis last night had 17 points, 8 rebounds. He was 6 of 17 from the floor. He had 0 points in the second half. I mean, Nuggets win 119-107. All the talk that the Lakers have done leading up to this season, and it's not just leading up to the season, it's leading up to the team that they want to get back at the team that they're talking the trash about, the Denver Nuggets, that's their opening game. And all of that talking, and that's the performance they got from Anthony Davis. That was a buster performance from Anthony Davis. No points in the second half. That all the talking the Lakers did leading up to last night, that, you know, they'll get it when time's right. Whatever the fuck they were saying. You get 0 points from Anthony Davis in the second half. That was a buster performance from Anthony Davis. I'm sorry. That was a terrible job. And so, obviously, you're going to get all the talk today on the Talking Head shows about Anthony Davis and not showing up and LeBron's minutes and, you know, does he need to play? Like, I understand. Okay, so he's not going to play 40 minutes a night. He's had the last 3 months off. It's the first night of the year. And with the bullshit, 29 minutes. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. But the story of the night actually came on the pregame show on NBA on TNT. So their guest was Adam Silver, the commissioner Adam Silver, softest commissioner in sports. Everybody knows that. And the story of the night was Charles Barkley really, really pressing the commissioner. So you can never say that that they're going to loft softballs at the commissioner. Nope. Barkley's going to ask what he wants. And here is Charles Barkley asking the commissioner straight up about the domestic violence and what's being done about it.
And performs on the floor.
I got one more question. I don't care. He said go to commercial, but I got a serious question for you. There's a couple of disturbing incidents of domestic violence in the NBA right now. What are we doing to address that? Because that is you can't put your hands on women, man. And we should be at the forefront in sports when the men hit women. So what are we as a league going to do about that?
Well, again, you know, that's an area where we're not looking to compete against other leagues when you say forefront. So I think all the leagues are trying to address this issue. But I know, again, our Players Association, credit to them, this wasn't adversarial. We put in place a new program for how we deal with, first of all, accusations of domestic violence even before they're prosecuted. Part of it goes to training of our players, counseling of our players to make sure they understand during high-stress situations that, like, obviously never resort to violence against anyone. And so we're addressing it. We have, you know, state-of-the-art counseling professionals dealing with our players. But, of course, and if a guy, you know, does cross the line, the consequences are enormous.
Good for Charles. That's a tough question to ask. He doesn't care. He's going to ask the commissioner right to his face. And as good a question, as good a job that was by Barkley, was as bad a job the commissioner did. Boy, he is just the softest. He really is. I mean, what a nothing answer. The only answer should have been guys who beat up women, we're throwing them out the league. That's what the answer is. You know, I've already told you this before. Players love talking out. If an owner says something with racial undertone, says something racist, an owner's behavior is poor, the players have no problem coming out, and LeBron specifically, his words, this type of behavior has no place in our league. But a player can beat the shit out of a woman and everyone's dead silence. Nobody says anything. It's disgusting. It's gross. And while it's not a competition, I feel like beating up women is a little bit worse than saying something stupid. I think it's not a competition, but can a single player say something about guys being allowed in the league who beat up women? And the commissioner, who is as soft as it gets. I mean, listen, the league's in great shape financially. Great shape. As popular as ever. Here's Adam Silver's legacy. Soft on players. Players don't play. Players don't honor contracts. That's his legacy. Under Adam Silver's watch, players don't play. Players don't honor contracts. Players do whatever they want. That's Adam Silver's legacy. That's the NBA under Adam Silver. And talking about counseling and training. The NBA is a fucking babysitter service. If you beat up women, you're out of the league. Who cares about giving them counseling, giving them training? You have to have training to let players need to be trained not to beat up women. That's your job. That's the NBA's problem. Making sure if you beat up women, you're out. Who cares about counseling these guys? Who cares about training these guys? Play basketball. Do your job. And if you commit crimes, specifically beating up women, you're out. Counseling and training. His answer was a vomit. So soft on players. So soft. Great job out of Barkley. Such a disappointing and predictable answer from the commissioner. I don't know, was it ready for the answer? But who the hell needs to be ready for the answer? How about just say, yeah, players beat up women, we want them out the league. No, we got to counsel them. And we got to train them. We got to let them know that if you get stressed out and you get angry, you can't then beat up women. What is that? Such a soft answer.